Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Yesterday, I didn't manage to do anything, and Monday, I didn't manage to do a live stream. It's been a little bit tricky for me to get around. I've been some busy days, some with work, other with my personal things. It's been a little complicated to get around and find at least 2 hours that I know I'm going not going to be busy and do the live stream. And again, sometimes during the day, I cannot get around like half an hour or so to do the gaming news program. So again, a little bit hectic and all over the place. But yeah, I'm doing the best I can here, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, let's go to some news. Apparently, the new Steam controller run out of stock in about half an hour or so. Supposedly, a lot of people were expecting this controller, and basically, it vanished in minutes. Again, I think the only way that you could buy it's through the Steam app and wait for the order now kind of a button there on the hardware side of things. And even Valve did say that it ran out faster than they anticipated, and they are getting on the way of getting more stock, and they will update everybody when they have an expected timeline to put again online sale there. Again, everybody seems to want one of these. Again, it seems that the control is very good. An upgrade specifically from the first Steam controller. It's been almost 10 years or so since the previous one. And again, from the specs and the reviews that I saw, even from Gamers Nexus, specifically from Gamers Nexus, the disassembly and repairability of this device is very huge. It blows the water out of any kind of competition from replacing batteries and the buttons and all that jazz. Again, I think they have kind of not a deal, but a partnership with iFixit. Probably, again, I'm not sure. I didn't go to iFixit site to check how it is, but I think probably after this launch, they will put on. I'm not sure if you can order through iFixit or the Steam app. I'm assuming it's going to be through iFixit. They will enter that part there from replacement parts and all that jazz. Specifically batteries. Usually, it's what lasts least on a device like this. But yeah, similarly, even $100, which again can seem a little bit too much for some people. But again, the customization, the fact that you can use it as a mouse, basically, and the fact that you can configure basically every button through the Steam app. I think there are already some tutorials going around regarding how you can customize everything through the Steam app, and everything simply works fine. Yeah, a good hit for Steam, and supposedly, according to some rumors here or leaks, again, seems that some shipping manifestos, I think this is, that Valve have imported around 50 tons of products listed as game consoles. Again, the game consoles can be, it's a little bit broad, and depending how they classify their own machines. Again, I don't think this is going to be the Steam um, the Steam machine, whatever they are calling there, like the living room PC kind of a thing that they are going about again, doing their second try. I think it can be from, I don't know, from the box, like the VR stuff there. I don't know. I'm not too much in line with what they are doing there with the VR thing, or even the Steam Deck. Can be because I saw some announcements here and there, and some information regarding like a new variant of the Steam Deck. Probably can be that. I think most likely is something like that. Maybe a restock or something like that. I'm not sure, but I don't think we're going to see the Steam frame or Steam machine kind of a thing there yet. Mainly due to the constraints of the hardware, and they already delayed that because again, I'm assuming that. Again, there is a lot of stuff there to be figured out, specifically with pricing and the fact that I'm not sure if they want to take a huge chance, even though they can as a company, that they can observe a little bit of that impact, but I don't think they want to take that chance for the moment. But I'm expecting, if when they launch like the Steam Machine or framework or whatever they are calling there, regarding has a desktop, not desktop, living room PC kind of a machine. Um, Again, I will expect that will be a little bit more powerful. I will expect to be similar, from what I understand, from the laptop framework laptops, I think they called it, which is kind of modular design, when you can fit, mix and match several parts to kind of build your own PC to a certain extent, uh, through modules, kind of almost like a Lego system there. Again, I'm not sure how this will go, but I didn't follow up too much on that, because again, there is, I think there is not a lot of details of what they're trying to do there. But I think, again, this thing with these 50 tons of equipment of whatever it is, considered game console, I think it's most likely to be a new, oh my god, the Steam Deck, yeah, that's how it calls. But yeah, a huge shipment, which is a lot. Especially, again, it's a huge shipment, but again, if it's to serve only the North American market, I think it's a good one, because they did some math here. Probably it will equate to round about maybe to 20,000 Steam Decks, I think. Um, but yeah, again, if it is for worldwide market, again, 20,000 probably is not too much there. But I think, again, depends on what they want to do and the expectations that they have for this for these machines, and how they will work. But yeah, it's good to see that at least Steam is doing something. Hopefully, usually they don't do bad products, especially in hardware. I think that they didn't approach the first Steam PC or Steam machine, didn't take the best approach maybe, but then again, it was their first try, and for sure, usually they learn from their own lessons there, as you can see, specifically with the with the Steam controller. But yeah, with other stuff, a lot of stuff coming out of Xbox again, which is very interesting. Again, this, oh my God, Asha Sharma, Shwarma, I do apologize. Asha Sharma, the new CEO from around about a couple of months ago now. She seems to be trying, at least make a stand, and again, uh, put her own, I don't know, DNA on the leadership of Xbox. By We already saw some announcements she already made, and some moves, specifically regarding Game Pass. And again, it seems that she is going now to, I don't know, refresh to a certain degree the leadership of Xbox, which is something interesting. Again, I can't understand this move, because she will bring supposedly 5 people. Four of them are from the core AI team of Microsoft, and one will come from Instacart. I think that person already worked with her previously. Again, I can understand, because again, it's her past department, so it's kind of people that she, I don't know, works well with, and kind of have a better idea how she works. I assume, and some also with some cleaning house there, again, because when you do this kind of shifts, specifically on the leadership roles, you have to shift around a little bit here and there, and try to go around with the philosophy of the CEO, because she is the CEO of Xbox now. I can understand the fact that they are coming from the AI team from Microsoft, because they worked previously with her. But again, it always raises a little bit of skepticism, because again, they come from the AI department of Microsoft, even though she did announce that there's not going to be any AI things supposedly. I think it's on the next article there. Some of the People that are going to leave. Again, I don't know the names or the people that come from the Phil Spencer era. Is Kevin Gamble, corporate vice president of Xbox user experience, game development, publishing platforms. It's going to leave, and then Aaron Sons, corporate vice president for Xbox device and ecosystem, will move to an advisory role following a leave of absence over the course of this summer. Again, kind of makes sense that the fact that Sons, which is basically part of the Department of Devices and Ecosystem, again, advisory role, maybe trying to integrate some ideas that Phil Spencer might have to try and implement or something like that. And the fact that she might bring something to the company, hopefully in the right direction. And some of the quotes here from Asha herself, right now it's too hard to ship impact quickly. We spend too much time inward instead of with the community, and we lack the depth we need in some of the fundamentals. Again, I think again, if it is good or bad, I don't know. Hopefully, it's always for good, at least considering gamers and consumers, customers, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, the fact that they need to kind of go back a little bit to the fundamentals of what Xbox should be, which is a gaming console and everything around that as a philosophy, and the fact that she's being very communicative, something that at least Phil Spencer, again, I assume this is every new CEO tries to at least communicate more at the beginning of their tenure to I don't know to make their own points and to communicate what they are trying to do with the company. But at least it's good to see that she's starting to do some changes. Some of them so far for the better, specifically with Game Pass. Even though there is some give and take when she did that take that step, which is like removing Call of Duties and I'm assuming like big games from big franchises will not be able to be available on Game Pass. I'm assuming there are going to be some kind of deals that if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you can get a deal. I'm assuming depend on the tier of your Game Pass to have a discount on launch of some first party games. I will assume that that's something that they can work on also to add a little bit value of the fact that people are subscribed to a service. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, she continues also with this kind of messaging, which is bringing in new leaders with consumer and technical expertise we do not have yet. Similarly, as a direct call out with the left to a gap left by Phil Spencer's era that needed to be filled. Again, we'll have to wait and see how this will go. Again, given whatever it is, a CEO, I don't know, a politician, you always need to see and listen what they are saying, but usually it's what they are doing that you need to be paying attention more than anything else. And so far, she, at least from my perspective, I never had an Xbox console, but the fact that they are starting to entice consumers and making some moves in the right direction. Let's see how it goes, and if this turns into a more competitive and not dominate the next generation of devices, but at least be more competitive because they need to leg up a little bit there comparing with what PlayStation is at this moment. I think they need to do some changes there, and I think she's starting again. Don't change too much. Again, at least stick with the fundamentals, focus on those, and steer what you already have in the better direction for the consumers there. Continuing with that, I mentioned the fact that supposedly now she's going to also pull the plug on Copilot for the next big hardware, so the console stuff there. And again, I think she knows best what they were doing with Microsoft AI department there, and how that can be applicable to a new device. And again, I'm not saying that they will eventually not introduce this in the future time, but I don't think at this moment they can figure out a way to do it properly. I don't know, I'm not even sure if there is a proper way to introduce like a Copilot feature kind of a thing there for a console. I don't know what you can do there. Again, by the fact that you already have Microsoft with the AI, hammering AI everywhere. I don't think it's at least in terms of marketing, it doesn't look good because people are already reticent. Because again, the fact that Microsoft didn't do a good job with the Copilot thingy there, the with the Copilot feature that saves, records the screen and get the time travel feature, whatever they are have there. The fact that he is like monitoring 24/7 your device is not good when people just they want to play games and they have an extra software that is not applicable to gaming. um, Again, it doesn't look good in the fact that people feel kind of some intrusiveness without the need to have that intrusive feature, which is Copilot there. And again, she's going to pull the plug, at least there the plans that were in place. And again, I think this was kind of a mandate from Microsoft CEO. I don't know, the Indian guy. I don't know. I don't remember his name. I'm so sorry. To basically mandate that for Phil Spencer, because I assume again, I think they made a big mistake at the time when they acquired Activision there. Even though what they're trying to do there, it's understandable, but it's kind of it's understandable from the company side of things. But again, it didn't went well because again, these kind of companies, they cannot plan long term. They just want the next quarter to be better than the previous one, and again, on a long term development cycle, which is games. Again, these things have to be planned in cycles between 5 to 10 years. Everything has to go around the hardware piece, because if you are a game console a company, you have to plan around within this kind of cycle of hardware between 5 to 10 years. How you're going to put all the framework around the games that are going to come out throughout that console life cycle. Again, it's not something that you can be so agile that you can adjust stuff on the fly every 3 months. And the fact that the games usually now take 4 to 5 years to make. So there's a lot of stuff there involved that I don't think works in a corporate structure of every quarter you have to present better results, or else it seems that your business is going to fail. Again, shareholders. But yeah, the fact that she continues to do the Xbox needs to move faster, deepen the connection with community and less friction for both players and developers. Also good. Today we promoted leaders. This is referring to the previous article, and this tweet from her, she wraps up with, "We will begin winding down Copilot on mobile, and we'll stop development of Copilot on console." So that's again seems definitive, at least on the console. So they're going to shut down that thing there. We just need to see how it is that Project Helix, let's say the next console of Xbox, will be presented, at least in terms of hardware and the software around that Project Helix there. And taking a little bit on this again, continuing with Xbox, they're going to start supposedly launch a new development focused game dev update kind of a show there. It's going to kick off tomorrow, May the 7th. And they will start on the first episode to bring about more Project Helix talk wherever. Again, this show seems to be aimed more for the developer side of things, from the game developers to be at least have a public message more directed to them, so that they kind of know what to expect in the again, I'm assuming on the game to game basis. Again, they will have their internal conversation and discussions, but I think this is try to make a public message, so companies that might want to work with Microsoft kind of know what they are expecting. I don't know, from development tools, updates, I don't know, whatever it is that game developers do within console manufacturing kind of things. If it is between PlayStation and Xbox, at least we have kind of seemingly they are going to start off communicating more publicly, and so developers that don't work already with Xbox at least will have kind of a taste of what to expect if they enter a deal with Xbox regarding game development. Again, it seems good as long as the public messaging is taken into action, whatever it is. And I think it's hopefully it's for the best for developers, because after that it comes the final game to run on the Xbox console there. But yeah, it seems good, this initiative. Again, I'm not sure if I'm assuming this is going to be kind of a monthly kind of talk show where they focused on big broad strokes strategies for the Xbox stuff there. But yeah, it's interesting to see that they are turning also for the game developers. Again, I think this is also to try and catch a little bit more in the independent developers, to entice them to work with them, and make good games. Hopefully it's one of those. Again, it's something that we again. PlayStation did change the some CEOs a couple of months last year, I think, with Helmut Merz or whatever his name is called. Again, I have a bad memory for names, but yeah, at least this time seems that Asher is doing some good work in terms of trying to turn the ship in a more um, uh, more public way, in the sense that in terms of communication with both game developers and studios that don't work under the Xbox studios, and also with the consumers or potential consumers and developers that might want to work, or at least they have some information out there, so they can create at least some expectation what to expect, which is always good, at least from my perspective there. Hopefully this will work out. Again, I will think we will start to see if it's working or not in the next I don't know, 3 months to the end of the year. Let's see how things evolved. Hopefully she is doing the right moves internally also. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. In terms of other things here, we got some interviews with the NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang. Supposedly, again, these CEOs sometimes they are personalities on their own. He says he draws a hard line on China. Again, this is the title: No Blackwell, no Rubin, but U.S. firms must still fight in global markets. Again, this comes about by the fact that there is this U.S. AI policy towards China, which came with this AI stuff. First, the one was the Hopper one generation chips, and now exports controls restricted NVIDIA from selling its like top tier performant one chips to the Chinese firms, and this ban was also extended to the Blackwell generation. And again, it almost seems that then this guy turned something that he could remove himself from that responsibility. But no, these people tend to forget that for all intents and purposes, these high-end chips are made in China, in the island of Taiwan. At least that's everybody officially recognizes Taiwan as part of China. But yeah, the question is that it was regarding this kind of the policy that have the export ban per se. The position has been that this making a question, of course, to Jensen Huang. I know your position has been that we should be giving them the H200 chips. I think it's the Blackwells here, not necessarily the latest and greatest, but we should be giving them chips, so they are reliant on US companies for some of these things. That makes sense. Again, one of the things that I think United States, if they want to make other countries rely upon their own technology, you don't just stop doing business with them in this sense of ban the export of these high-end chips, because again, given if it is AI or not, these high computing volume chips or high volume computing chips, whatever, even if it is not for AI workloads. Um, and again, there is a huge need, specifically on big countries. Again, China is a huge country, 1.5 billion people or roundabouts there of people in that country. Um, and if you're specifically trying to ban them to have access from an American company to provide these chips, you will force that country, China, which is similarly the biggest manufacturing country in basically everything or virtual almost everything, not everything, of course. But again, they put the China in a position that they have to turn themselves in and they develop their domestically their own high-end chips. Again, as I said, I've been covering this for some time now. It will take time for them to uh, domestically produce their own thing there, and there seems to be already some catching up that they are doing. Again, not on the bleeding edge, like the high-end performance of like the chips of NVIDIA, but they are starting to catch up, and I think the pace is accelerating for them to catch up with the likes of NVIDIA and even with AMD high-end AI accelerators there. But then again, if you want to be a company like Jensen Huang says that they should compete globally, even though again trying to balance out the fact that again I understand that NVIDIA is a global American company. They probably have some tendency of having preference of the Americans have access, immediate access, and a little bit of an edge regarding everybody else. Um, yeah, again, this will not work well because since this happened, specifically since Hopper, which is basically 2 to 3 years ago, they were more hardline, and we even saw this trickle down to consumer GPUs on the gaming GPUs, specifically with the 4090s. I think it was the first case, and then now with the 5090s, and I even think 5080s. I'm not exactly sure if the 5080 is included that there. Now we are seeing that the Nvidia's official share in China has dropped basically to nothing because again you put yourself the country that again you're only going to get the goods that we want you to get without any kind of workaround there or negotiation there. So basically China itself is started focus on in-house solutions, and companies like UI are now gaining big time for the growing AI demand. Again, UI makes uh, arguably it's one of the better brands in terms of at least smartphones and other devices that use high-end chips. I think they have already cars. I'm not sure if you. I know Xiaomi has cars. Xiaomi usually is also they have cell phones, which is Honor. It's part of Xiaomi, if not mistaken. Then you got Xiaomi phones, you got Xiaomi routers, you got Xiaomi power tools for home things there. You have Xiaomi not tricycles, but the motorized thingies there, scooters, the motorized scooters, whatever, and you have already Xiaomi electric cars. Again, they are catching up in all things regarding technology wise, and again, they seem to be in a position that again, okay, we would prefer to take hit in the next 3 to 5 years, but we are going to focus ourselves. And okay, if you don't want to sell us the good stuff, we are not going to buy you anything. And basically telling to this American company they're going to lose access to 1.5 billion potential customers, plus all the companies inside China there, which basically is where NVIDIA will do or could do the biggest business. And I think Jensen Huang is very worried because again, he cannot do anything, or else the company is screwed. He tried to weasel his way out of it. by trying to make the case that they should sell some stuff to China with the thing that, again, I didn't even highlight this because it's a mumble jumble, and the logic doesn't, it's not that good of a logic. Saying that all American companies should compete globally because remember, in the final analysis, we're trying to maximize exports. We're trying to maximize American exports. We're trying to increase our revenues. And by increasing our revenues, tax revenues, which usually they have always something to avoid paying those taxes. And we improve our national security. I don't know how this can correlate tax revenues equals national security unless they the government, the only thing that it spends their tax revenues is just, I don't know, the War Department, the Defense Department they already have now. Again, I don't know how that will increase what equates to tax revenues to national security. And then an economic security contributes to national security. Okay, and then tax dollars help us with defense. All of these increases national security. American technology has to win across the world at every single layer. Again, I don't understand very well. I know what he was trying to do, trying to conflate. If NVIDIA sells more, it means that the United States is better protected because they have the better chips that can, I don't know, to do what better than the others. But again, and I think that this also comes, this logic comes from the fact that these partnerships with OpenAIs and these software companies that do algorithms that are very shady. I forget the other company that does Palantir. These Palantir guys. Again, I don't like what he's trying to do. I understand what he's trying to do there, but then it starts calling out stuff that reminds me of things that are not good in terms of what they call defense or national security. But yeah, this is not going to. If this continues long term, China will be at least as equal. I think on the consumer kind of gaming GPUs, let's say, they're already starting to, out of basically in 2 or 3 years out of nowhere, starting introducing. Let's see how it goes, but similarly they are already starting introducing GPUs on the entry level side of things. Some stuff also, I think it's happening on the CPU side of things. But yeah, if they continue with this ban exports and trying to isolate the Chinese market, specifically if it is like a small country that doesn't have manufacturing or even the know-how to produce chips or something like that, I can understand this kind of strategy to try and isolate and get not enable access. But again, as always, there is always ways of going around that. We already covered some stories that they managed to get around on these pan exports and get what they wanted to get from even from the grasshoppers and even the latest ones. There's always a way of getting around this. As long as they have money, as long as there is money, there is a way and a will to make things appear where they want to appear. But yeah, in overall picture, they are forcing basically China to turn in house for now, for at least for the next 5 years. I think again, Chinese usually do plans like 10 years plans, 25-year plans, 50-year plans, and I think this part of in the technology side of things, they're already kind of halfway through there. I'm assuming. So I made the prediction. I don't know, the next couple of years, if this continues at this scale, we're already starting to see this, at least on the consumer side of things. We already seeing some improvements, at least from their own part. The I think the equivalent of I think 4060 kind of a gaming GPU side of things there. And I think until the next year, we probably will hear something more on the GPU side, at least on the consumer part. In terms of the AI accelerators equivalent, I'm not sure. But again, they can manufacture and they can output everybody in that sense. And I think if they get in the position they probably nationalize, I don't know, TSMC or something like that, and they just tell them you stop doing business with NVIDIA and with and AMD, and then let them handle themselves with Intel or something like that, which is something that Intel doesn't have the capability to do yet. But yeah, uh, hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully that everybody kind of gets along. There is some give and take in this kind of situation. But in the other hand, if Chinese companies do everything in house and start, I don't know, in the next couple of years appearing with products that are as good or nearing or at least competitive in terms of price to performance with what we have from Nvidia and AMD. I don't know, and Intel also. Let's see. We'll have to wait and see how this will go because again, as I mentioned, trying to isolate the country, specifically as China, um, that has already the know-how. It already has the manufacturing capabilities. Um, Again, they have the access to the resources that they need to have to do what they need to do for the high-end chips. Again, I'm not sure if this is working out as they think they will go to work, specifically with this AI accelerator stuff on between US and China. I think they need to, I don't know, try to isolate themselves out of the world because it's not going to work as they think they will work. But yeah, in terms of games, we got Remedy's CEO or new CEO supposedly is vouching for Resonant, which is the sequel from Control. Again, this the from what I get the I think I watched the trailer when they give it an announcement of Control Resonant. Again, seems interesting. I was expecting that with the Control 2 will follow up on Faye's journey. I'm not sure how Faye. I think she's called Faye, the main character of Control. Again, I'm very terrible with names. I think the story ended kind of on a cliffhanger kind of a thing there. So there was open endedness there, but this one follows up her brother. I don't want to spoil the Control plot there. Seems interesting. It seems to be happening outside of the bureau. This game, which also interesting. I think we will continue with the his kind of a thing there, film as kind of the main enemy per se. Again, I'm not sure, mainly because it seems more. The approach here seems to be more action heavy in terms of the combat itself, more melee approach than having like the service gun there where you can do other things there. I'm not sure. Hopefully, it still focuses on kind of the weirdness of the atmosphere that the first game had, and also the storytelling and how they do the exposure of the story and all the little stuff that you go through the game that you learn through. Hopefully, they can maintain a little bit of that instead of just being an action game with just a good combat system. I like very much Control because again, the weirdness of the world and the characters and the interactions between them, and the way usually Remedy goes about it. Hopefully, it stays truthful to that. But it seems that according to this first quarter financial report, I heard some stuff there that Remedy was kind of in tight ropes financially, but it seems that they are improving a little bit. From game sales to royalties, they nearly doubled from comparatively with the previous from the first quarter of the last year. It seems they are improving again, so hopefully they don't go down. Again, I think they did. Again, I'm not sure how the game was funded, but I think they did a big mistake of when they launched Alan Wake 2 not launching on Steam. Again, I think it was a big mistake. I don't know how much they got paid to for that exclusivity, but I don't think it was worth the money there, because that just in sales what they could do on Steam, instead of trying to put people or stranglehold people on Epic Game Store as an exclusive. I still think that there is no date to launch on Steam. I'm not sure how that exclusivity deal works. But yeah, the thing is, it seems that Remedy is doing okay. They already sold 6 millions on Control. Again, there is no numbers for Alan Wake 2. There's no talk about it. I think this article tries to focus more on the Control Resonant game that it's upcoming. There is no launch window. Launch window there is, which is later this year, but there is no release date there specifically. But yeah, hopefully hopefully the game is good, and hopefully eventually, I don't know, Alan Wake 2 will come to Steam. I think the game is pretty decent. Again, there were some nitpicks that I watched in some YouTube videos, but I think overall, the Alan Wake 2, in terms of as a horror story, is not is at least at the same level of the first one. Again, the first one is already difficult to reach that level, because it was kind of a very weird introduction of the character and how you tell horror stories, and it's more like a mood piece, to a certain degree. But from what I understand, Alan Wake 2 is pretty good on the horror part there, in as a mood, very, very David Lynchian, let's say. I think they try to keep the pace there, but again, there was some changes here and there, and some introduction of characters that was not that well received per se. But yeah, other than that, I think if they launch that on Steam, I think they will. I don't know. In the first 6 months, probably they will almost recoup at least half of the production budget of Alan Wake 2. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if this goes or not. Again, hopefully this game is good. I like very much the first Control. I did play it with the two DLCs, and I enjoy very much the paranormal and the kind of the Dave Lynchian kind of also weirdness there, in a more sci-fi way than like the psychological horror things there. But yeah, hopefully it's a good one. And then last we got Motorslice. I covered here and there this game. I found the trailer very interesting. Again, I got here a review from this niche gamer. They gave it, again, I just checked the highlights there. Again, the good thing, which is what I took from the trailer, which seems to have snappy controls, kind of a clear brutalist vision, great sense of progression, decent atmospheric DNB drum and bass soundtrack, and cute yet badass protagonist here. And then the deep review mechanics can get overwhelming. Supposedly, soundtrack only has 3 tracks, and crucial graphic setting not present in the options. Maybe in terms of graphic settings, doesn't have that much there. So they give it 6.5. But I went to the Steam page here, and again, not a lot of people play this game, but the people that I played, they seem to enjoy pretty much this game. Again, this game came yesterday or so. So again, take it with a grain of salt, the first reviews there. But yeah, it seemed I like this kind of way of these games. They look, and the combat seems kind of Dark Soulish, so you have to be skillful in that sense, and also seems to be a way for you to have a puzzle to solve regarding this kind of games. But yeah, and you got to launch here with 10% off. And again, the fact that you have also a demo, it's also good for you at least to give it a try and see if it is something for you. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here with some gaming deals. We have Baldur's Gate 3, 25% off. We got also Bionic Bay. This deal for the game itself will end around about one day, 75%. And you also have a bundle with Clair Obscure. The same thing, no, not the same thing, sorry. You got Dredge, the Digital Deluxe Edition, and then the Complete Edition, which has all the extra DLCs and content there. 50% off. I think this is the better way to go about this game, because I think it adds some good things, the DLCs. We got Jagged Alliance 3, 70% off. We got also Midnight Suns. Again, I do recommend this game. I made a series out of this game. I did claim this game for free on Epic Game Store a while ago, and I decided to do a gaming series. Again, this is from the same guys that did XCOM 2. And I think I didn't play the Legendary Edition, but I think from what I saw from the content, it seems pretty good. The introduction story, the story introduction of the characters plus their own decks seem pretty good. And again, I do recommend. And if you are, if you don't know if this is something for you, you can check out the first couple of episodes that I made out of this series to make a choosing or not. Again, 85% off. It's a good price there. Then we got also Metaphor Refantasio, 50% off the game itself, and then we got another bundle with Clair Obscure, 50% off. Again, I already have Clair Obscure, that's why here for sure it only appears 31 euros here. We got also Nino Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. This is the first game of the two of the duology. Again, 85% off. You still have a day or so to claim this. We got Pacific Drive still, also with a bundle with Clair Obscure, or the Pacific Drive base game is 67% off. And then last we got the Invisible. Again, this game seems pretty good. It's one of those that I will eventually play. Seems kind of in line, like first-person telling story, similar to Firewatch. 60% off. Again, it seems pretty good. It's based on the book of Stanislav Flu of the same name, The Invisible. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here, just with the Pokemon Patreon as usual. At the I'm not thinking, or at the moment, don't do any exclusive content here. It's just a way of people, if they want to give some extra support of this hobby of mine. But yeah, I will wrap up here. I will try to do a live stream later on today. Let's see how it goes, my day. And yeah, basically that's it for today. So yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, Kunamy Master out.